Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Over the last few episodes, we've talked about eating for your metabolism, how to reverse diet, making sure you can maintain your results without obsession. But today, we're diving a little bit deeper because if we're looking at creating true, lasting, sustainable change, it's not just about how you eat and how you train. It's about who you believe you truly are and who you surround yourself with. Today, we're going to talk about something that can feel a little tricky or maybe vulnerable, scary. And that is, as moms and what our priorities are, the feeling that you as a mom have lost yourself, your body, your identity. And I think the tricky part, or at least for me, the one that I really didn't want to confront for a little bit, was understanding that as a mom, it is okay that our identity is different. Who we are now is different than it was when we were just an individual or just with our spouse. And for me, I wanted to avoid that. Like, no, I'll just be the same old me, right? You may be in a place where you're able to see that this is the most rewarding role that you've ever been awarded or been given, however you want to look at it. But at the same time, it's come with some sacrifice. And you may feel like you have lost or maybe suppressed certain pieces of who you are or who you were. And it can feel like you're floundering a little bit. So I just want you to know that you're not alone. And this is a big piece of the conversation if we're going to look at taking care of ourselves holistically. As a mom, your priorities have probably shifted pretty drastically or dramatically, no matter what stage of motherhood you're in right now. But whether you're looking at your fitness, your nutrition, or just trying to set aside time for yourself, that's probably been put to the back burner a little bit. And what has had to come center stage are other responsibilities, taking care of other people. And so when we're looking at trying to define our health goals or being in this point of frustration, it's easy to say, okay, I want to lose the weight. I just want my clothes to feel better. I want my pre-baby body back. But the thing is, you are worthy of so much more than just trying to shrink yourself. You deserve to actually take care of yourself and build back better this time. You're in a place right now of rebuilding, really being able to take care of yourself so that you can feel powerful and confident and energetic, but at the same time doing it in a way that is realistic and it aligns with your priorities, your lifestyle, your set of demands right now as a mom. You have goals and I'm totally here for it, but the language that we use matters. The way that we actually define our goals is going to directly impact how we show up for ourselves. When you change your goals, your behaviors follow. So it's not just about focusing on how we're going to change or what we're going to do, but it's shifting that focus on looking at who we're becoming, who you're becoming in the process. When you change your identity and you put your focus there, then everything else starts to shift without this extra willpower or effort or feeling like you just need to white knuckle everything. Your habits, your environment, your behavior, it's all of those start to shift and follow suit. And this is going to be based off of Robert Dilt's logical levels of change. So we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper to understand each level, but we have to start at the top. So we start the big question, our identity. Who are we becoming? I think a lot of times as moms, we get into this old pattern. Oh, I'm just a mom. I'm so busy. I have to put myself last. Their needs are going to come first. All of the language that we use there starts to become a limiting belief on who we see ourselves as. And it gives us almost this like subliminal messaging that we're going to live up to. True transformation has to begin and is only going to begin when we can open ourselves up and embrace creating a new identity. So a new way of looking at it is saying, hey, I'm taking care of myself and prioritizing myself so I can be the best mom I can be, not only for my kids and my family, but for myself too. When our identity starts to shift, then we really get out of this restrictive mindset where we focus on everything that we can't have. And I'm dieting here and I'm restricting this and I'm living into these other external expectations and ideals and standards. And we start taking the power back and getting into this abundant mindset. Instead, you start building and becoming the woman that you want to be: strong, capable, resilient, energetic. And that's what it is, building back better, knowing that you are different and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that this version of you is not going to be the best version of you. So our identity is this kind of big umbrella that we're starting to work within, but that's going to start to impact our beliefs and our values, right? Like, what do I believe to be true? What do I actually find to be important to me? And I think, a lot of times an old pattern or old language patterns is looking at, I just don't have time for that. I'm too busy in this season of life right now. I just can't prioritize those things. And that starts to become a limiting belief, right? Where we like cap ourselves. But if we redefine our identity, then we're shifting what we believe to be true and what we are going to start to naturally prioritize. The moment that you believe taking care of yourself is essential, it is a non-negotiable, that's the moment that your behaviors and actions start to follow suit. You'll make time for yourself realistically in your busy schedule, not that you're just going to miraculously find new hours in this 24-hour schedule that we have, but you're going to naturally find places that you're going to prioritize yourself because you know that taking care of yourself allows you to show up as the person, the mom, the spouse that you want to be, that you need to be. Your health doesn't only directly impact you, but it's directly impacting your family around you as well and friends. Then that's going to trickle down into our capabilities, right? What are you actually capable of? And honestly, like, you are doing a hell of a job showing up for everyone else, right? You have proved to yourself that you are capable of juggling so many things, right? The mental load that happens up here of being able to take care of everyone else in your family, you've proved that you can do that. Now you just need new tools to prioritize yourself alongside them. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can start to build those new capabilities. You can start to learn how to prioritize meal prep in a way that isn't going to make you want to rip your hair out. You can learn how to train with minimal equipment at times so you don't have to worry about handling everyone else's baseball schedules while still trying to get a workout in. It doesn't need to look the same for me as it does for you or Susie Q down the block or whoever else you're following on Instagram. Your abilities will grow as you invest your time and energy into learning these new skills and seeing what's possible. For some of us, it could be shifting little pieces of time management or finding some quick go-to meals that you actually know everyone is going to eat, so you're not cooking all these separate meals, or being able to find ways to train and take movement breaks throughout the day. Whatever it is, it's strengthening the muscle and proving to yourself over and over and over again, like, hey, wait, I am that mom who prioritizes herself. See, look, there's the evidence right there. I'm doing it over and over and over again and proving and strengthening the identity that I've named for myself. So you can see why starting with the identity piece is going to trickle down into the behaviors. And a lot of times we get so stuck with wanting to start here. Okay, what's the method? What do I need to do? What do I need to not do? We just need to zoom out for a second, take off the pressure, see who we're trying to become, and allow the behaviors to be the side effect. You'll find yourself saying things like, I move my body because I really value strength, or I nourish myself throughout the day so I can have enough energy to go play with my kids at the pool. Your actions just start to become automatic because they align with your new identity. You don't have to think so hard, and it's not another thing that starts to lead to decision fatigue. And then we have our environment, which I feel like this is also a big place that we start with, is like, oh, okay, well, I can't start prioritizing myself right now because XYZ. Fill in whatever excuse I have. Family coming in town, there's a trip coming up, it's about to be busy season, the kids are about to be in school, not in school, whatever you want to fill in the blank with. Chaos is always going to ensue, right? And a lot of times we start something and we get really frustrated because we can't stick with it when that chaos does in fact implode. But that's why our environment and making the changes here has to be the byproduct of the other levels of change. That's why those pieces matter so much more. We start to see shifts here that instead of trying to create this brand new space, we just notice, hey, we naturally maybe start to set boundaries that allow us to set up more time and energy for ourselves. Maybe it's guarding time, maybe it's guarding energy, or that you're starting to shift the way that you're house is designed or creating a space that allows you to be more successful. But it's not where we put all of the energy into trying to make these massive changes in our environment and behaviors first. We have to let that become the side effect so that it doesn't come crashing down when things don't feel like sunshine and rainbows. Honestly, the focus here is getting your environment to work for you, not having it become just another barrier that is making this 1 ounce harder than it needs to be. This can actually be enjoyable. That's another limiting belief that we start to walk into is like, well, this should be hard. It's what we hear all the time. This is a really hard season. It's difficult. And so we can use that as this self-sabotaging piece. That's why we need to do the work in the other levels so that we can get the environment to work for you. And then you can start to see shifts that allow those changes to be easier. So that could be, creating a workout space in your home. It could be including your kids in the workouts with you. That's something that I've had to do with my daughter recently, just childproofing everything. So it's like, okay, she's not going to nap during it. This is what I'm going to do instead. And the beauty there is you shape the environment to you, not to anyone else, but you specifically, so it can start to be something that is making this easier. Now, I totally get that it can sound like, yeah, Haley, that sounds really great. We're going to start with the identity and go down these levels, but let's just talk about what it looks like in real life, because mindset change and growth and doing things differently is absolutely not a linear process. I want to be very, very clear and open on that. You don't just wake up one day and have a new identity. We start in this place of uninformed optimism. It's kind of that like new year, new me energy, right? Or maybe the new program, new outcome. It's going to be different. Whatever it is, motivation is high. We are buzzing and we think we have found the thing. But then we get to this place of informed pessimism, or more of like, for the newness, the novelty high, the shininess, it's worn off. You realize maybe this isn't magic. It's a little harder than you thought. Real life starts to creep back in. Your old patterns start to show back up. And that's where most people quit. Sometimes you get to that point or even down in like a pit of despair. Like we're really in a point where our inner critic is just like chirping, chirping, chirping. And we stay there for a while and we go back and forth and back and forth. Okay, I get frustrated enough. I'm going to get to this new place. I try a new thing, new year, new me, new program, new outcome, yada, yada, yada. Hit repeat. But if we push through knowing that the novelty high is going to come off, the shininess is going to come off, motivation is not always going to be high, then we get to this other place of informed optimism. That's where we see progress happening, not just physically, but that's where the mental work truly starts to progress. Like we're not just seeing that we're changing, we can feel that we are changing who we're becoming. That's what leads to success and fulfillment. That's the goal, right? And I don't just mean success and fulfillment in a way of like you got the body composition that you were looking for, but I mean like you succeeded in feeling fulfilled in who you are and how you're showing up for yourself. You can think of this place more as like it being integrated into who you are instead of like, I have arrived at this destination of success and fulfillment. Because as we go through life in general, whether it's in relationships or with finances, or maybe you have set different health goals along the way, whenever we're trying to grow and change, we're going to go through these shifts. And so it's not like we just arrive at success and fulfillment and we like, unbuckle and we're ready to go. It's that we have integrated these systems to allow us to maintain that drive, that push, that identity that we've named for ourselves. It doesn't feel so damn hard to show up for ourselves because it's just who you are. There's going to be hard days for sure for all of us, but it doesn't feel like the wheels are just going to fall off. And honestly, a lot of people quit in that phase of informed pessimism or in that pit of despair because they think something has gone wrong. Oh, it shouldn't feel this way. Oh, I hit this one roadblock. But honestly, like hitting that point, that means something has finally gone right. Welcome to life. You're doing it. It means you're actually in a place of confronting the things that have kept you stuck. And that's the real deal. That's what's going to unlock true transformation long term. But this type of transformation does not happen in isolation. Because when we're in this place of trying to grow and change and we get to that informed pessimism place, we start to gaslight ourselves. You start to say things like, well, maybe I'm just not motivated enough. Maybe I'm just not disciplined like whoever else you're comparing yourself to. Maybe I am too busy. Maybe I don't have the time. But when you're surrounded by other women that are committed to doing the same work as you, it's not that the thoughts don't creep up, but they don't have nearly the same amount of power. You get to borrow that belief from the people around you until it becomes your own. You start to have like these mirrors that are reflecting back that person that you're becoming. And you get like real life reminders that, yeah, this path is hard. It's not easy, but you're not crazy for wanting to do it. I absolutely think that self-discipline is the thing that can get you started, but it's self-compassion and social support and having that community that's going to keep you going. So I want this to be tangible and talk about some things that we can do right now to get to that place. And I've said it earlier in this episode, but language is really going to matter. So let's start there. When you start to feel those negative emotions, the gaslighting, the second guessing yourself, I want you to just pause for a moment and say, hey, I'm in the process of building back better. We don't need to just try to eradicate any negative thought and just try to like affirm this new belief pattern and identity. We need to be aware of when that negativity is creeping in, allowing ourselves that pause, that stop, and shift it with something different. We need to replace it with something that is equally as true. Be real with yourself as you build that new mental pathway of building back better. It doesn't mean it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it's like, yeah, my workouts may look different. My time, energy, priorities, that's changed. That's okay. I may not have 2 hours to hit the gym and have it be my socializing situation. I may not get to use all the fun, fancy equipment. I may not be able to have the time to go and incorporate the runs that I wanted to. I may have a plan and I may feel excited about the plan and the plan may get like thrown upside down, but that doesn't mean I need to get disappointed. Instead of living in that negative place, we get to look at those circumstances and say, hey, this is an opportunity to practice that adaptability. So that may be looking at all of those circumstances and choosing just one habit, one thing that we're going to tackle and mastering that, not feeling like we need to change absolutely everything at once so that it feels like we're in that point of disappointment. Can we choose the one that we want to be adaptable on, the one that we want to feel like we are gaining momentum towards, and let the rest go for right now? Maybe that's getting up earlier. Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to set aside time to quiet your brain and meditate. Maybe it's drinking more water. Whatever it is, it aligns with who you're becoming. And that's going to be my biggest takeaway of what you can do right now. Don't let your values and your sense of self get lost along the way. Get super clear on your values. And this doesn't need to be like crazy overcomplicated. You can think of like one word jaunts: family, health, relationships, adventure, curiosity. I don't know, whatever it is, grab a note card or create like a background on your phone, just something that you can see consistently over time that brings it to your top of mind. So you can think of that kind of big overarching word and then write down things that kind of go alongside with it, right? Just like a little brainstorming activity. And then pick one each week. We don't need to dive into everything. One each week and take a small action towards that one. Simplify it a little bit. You don't need to spend hours, right? And maybe your values haven't necessarily changed so much, but maybe the time that you have to put towards them have, and that's okay. We don't need to compare ourselves to the old version of ourselves, right? How much time we used to have, what this used to look like, what adventure looked like, what the gym time looked like, whatever it is. Comparison is just going to rob us of the joy that we deserve now. This is what it looks like today, and that's okay. Leaning into your values, living into your values, leaning into spending time with your friends and taking care of yourself, doing all of those things is so much more than just you building back better, but it's setting an example for your kids too. You're showing them that you're worth it. You're showing them that they're worth it. You're showing them that it is possible to do it in a way that brings vibrancy and joy and happiness, and it doesn't look like a chore. So I know this is a big, heavy topic, but I just want to recap what we've gone over. When you change your goal, your behavior changes. And when you change your identity, your life changes. And when you plug yourself into the right community, you make that identity feel possible. If anything in this episode resonated, I want to invite you to join us. We're not just a coaching program, we're a community of women that are building and growing into the strongest, most capable versions of ourselves in body, in mind, in community. And if that sounds like something that you're ready for, then we're totally ready for you. So if you want to go ahead and join us, just go ahead and click the link on this page or in the video description below, and you can go ahead and join our waitlist.